So I wrote this blog December 2nd of 2015. This is like right after I had my accident, and I kind of didn't want to read this one, but then like lately I've been going through some things and God has just kind of been like, I think you need to talk about this. And it's just crazy how like I was going through stuff 2 years ago, almost, well, yeah, 2 years ago, and here I am still in the same situation, but with a different outlook. So I'll just read it real quick. It said addiction. Addiction is a condition that results when a person ingests a substance, alcohol, cocaine, nicotine, or engages in activity like gambling, sex, shopping, that can be pleasurable, but the continued use slash act of which becomes compulsive and interferes with ordinary life responsibilities such as work, relationships, or health. Users may not be aware that their behavior is out of control and causing problems for themselves and others. And that's from Psychology Today. So I wrote, I almost never quote anything, but I felt it was pertinent because addiction has crippled my family for decades. On Thanksgiving, my body started to display withdrawal symptoms because I didn't take my meds on time. Now, mind you, I just had a car accident September 2015. Now this is December of 2015, or no, Thanksgiving. So it's, only 2 months later. So I go, on Thanksgiving, my body started to display signs of withdrawal. So I didn't take my meds the way I normally would because I wasn't here. Now, when I took them because I was in pain. Like, this is what my arm looks like now, and this is 11 surgeries later. Yeah, it was real. So I didn't take the medication because I wasn't home. And when I got home, I just, my arm was hurting. Now my pinky toe was hurting. My knee was hurting. My back was hurting. Like, it was just like there was like just something under my skin. Just like, I can't even, it was the most disgusting thing I have ever felt because I didn't have control over my body and I couldn't stop, what was happening. And it was because I didn't have this medication in my system no more. My body had become addicted to taking these pills like every 4 hours or whatever it was. So, I go on to say in the blog, normally withdrawal symptoms start to happen when the medication is being abused, but I've been taking the same dosage for the last 7 weeks. Whenever I felt pain coming, I was on the couch and literally flopping around like a fish because my whole body was hurting. I told Jack what was happening and he said it was withdrawal. I started to cry and was like, I'm not having it. Like, enough is enough. I went to the room and I go into the room and I get mad because it's like it's too late in the game for me to try to like be taken out this way. So I'm in the room and I'm just like, you know what? Fuck you, devil. Like, it's not gonna happen. And for the next month, I was taking 60 pills every week. And in this last month, I had set it in my mind that, I was gonna do it. And, I'm talking to God, I'm talking to God, and I'm talking to God. And it was a process. Let me continue reading though. I stayed in my room for the rest of the night being mad that the devil wouldn't stop messing with, but he wouldn't stop messing with me. But in the same token, women in my family came to the same crossroad and had a choice to make. I love my kids too much to not fight through the pain. I came too far to end it like this. I, within the last year, seen how the same demon took my sister, got my mom locked up, and how it controlled my grandma to a point where she was gone. And I'm talking about like just a whole different person. Like, the body is different, the speech is different. There's this. It's not even her. It's not even her. Like, gone. Um, I need to let you know I'm not perfect, nor do I claim to be. I do and will admit I frown upon some things, but if I'm not doing them, then it does not put me in a position to judge you. I will never sugarcoat how I feel or what I think to appease someone else. I'm not fighting you, and you are not fighting me. We have a real enemy in common, whether you believe it or not. With that being said, we all have a choice to make when it comes down to everything: brushing teeth, having an attitude, talking or not talking to God, being afraid, what pants to wear. Well, you get my drift. I wasn't mad at the doctors or my mom or even the pain for that matter. I was mad that the devil thought I was stupid, but he heard me tell God I couldn't do it alone and that my body was aching and my arm was numb. I needed help. He thought he had an opening, and I put LOL because it's like, now I'm really beginning to see like this fool's face at the, first he tried to take my life in this car accident. Now I see him trying to take my life again in, this pill thing. And it just, I see you. I see you. If I want to be addicted to something, I want to be addicted to God, dwelling in his presence and resting there. No matter what happens, he's got this. And he called me and you. I am so straight, and I know the only way I can truly help myself as well as someone else is to pray. Like, that's the only thing I can really, really do for anybody is like pray for you. Me giving you some food is not going to help. Me telling you, oh, the pain's going to go away, try something else, that's not going to help. Like, just hollering at God like that at the end of the day will always help every and any situation. And I continue to write that I was with one of my cousins yesterday and they said I'm addicted to blah, blah, blah. I said I can do, the best I can do is pray, because I'm not going to say some things to pacify you because I don't know what you're going through. Later that day I was driving and I prayed so boldly that I knew the devil was shook. I feel pity for no one because that's a heavy load to bear. Yet I have been in my own pity parties and got nowhere. Now I take these things before the Lord, and when I don't, he gives me my space, but that's when I'm on my own. I said going through a long, Hebrews 1 through 2 says, going through a long line of prophets, God has been addressing our ancestors in different ways for centuries. Recently, he spoke to us directly through his son. By his son, God created the world in the beginning, and it will all belong to the son in the end. This son perfectly mirrors God and is stamped with God's nature. He holds everything together by what he says. Powerful words. Now, I wrote that, December of 2015, and right now I'm in the end of January 2018. I just had my last, my 11th surgery. It's not my last because I'm probably gonna have to do it again because, whatever. And I'm telling these doctors, like, I don't want to take anything that has any type of opiates, because that feeling that I was telling you about before, it's scary, but it's not scary. Like, it's, if I know that I'm putting myself in a way where I'm gonna get hit, then yeah, it's gonna be pretty scary to know that I'm gonna have to feel that pain after the impact of whatever hits me, you know. But if God's saying, like, look, you don't have to do it this way, keep letting them know, because, opiates are such a bad thing. Everyone gets addicted. Like, not too many people can come to the crossroads where I came and be like, you know what? I'm coming to the fork in the road and I decide to go straight. I'm not going to go left and I'm not going to go right, but I'm going to go straight and I'm going to follow God. It was God, he was the one that had said, like, December 31st, like, go to sleep, Tanya, you're good. You don't have to worry about anything. And I'm like, no, God, like, it's going to come. It's going to come. Because mind you, like, every night I'm battling this thing underneath my skin. And it was horrible, because I couldn't control it. Like, I'm flopping around. I'm in the room flopping around. I'm in front of my kids flopping around. Like, I just, you ever seen somebody and, like, they're gone, and I'm talking about some real drugs? Like, you already know. Watch a video about someone on, like, meth or flocka or something, and you'll see, like, their body movements. It's all, like, really super crazy. Well, that was happening. So December 31st, God goes, go to sleep, you're good. And I'm like, no, God, I don't know. And he's like, go to sleep, you're good. And I'm like, I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night, it's gonna be there. And he's like, you're good, go to sleep. So I go to sleep and I wake up in the middle of the night, and the first thing that God says is, like, I told you. And I'm like,
here's a summary from pit.edu. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth.
I don't even know what's happening right now. Okay, I don't know where that came from, but I mean, if you don't believe that the devil is real, know that that fool is a hater, and anything to stop the truth will happen. So I was good. I was good. I woke up and I'm just kind of like, am I really not feeling this, and I wasn't feeling it, and I didn't feel it again. But mind you, like the next time that I had surgery, they're still like, let's push these oxycodones, let's push, you know, this narcotic, and oblivious to the fact that I said that I had this experience, I don't want to go through it anymore. And they just keep pushing, 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 pushing. I'm the one who had to taper down and be like, okay, I don't want an oxycodone, give me a Vicodin. That I'm telling them, like, I can start to feel this thing again in my body because of these Vicodins. And this nurse practitioner is like, oh, we can just give you tramadol and, it'll be fine. Like, you nimwit, you know that tramadol is still in that family of, narcotics, and it's just what, a lesser chance of me being addicted to tramadol. Whatever. So I'm having a hard time with it. And, I go to God and I'm just like, God, I gotta go see this lady. I don't want to deal with her because I'm gonna have an attitude like she's trying to send me off. And God's like, it's not necessarily her that's trying to send you off, but you got a real life enemy, and this fight that you got is not a carnal one. So you can't sit here and point fingers at people and be whatever. You just got to know how to conduct yourself and who your real enemy is. Pain is super real, and everyone has like a different level of, pain that they can tolerate. When I tell you my arm hurts and it's probably going to hurt me for the rest of my life, it's real. Like, it's nerve damage. There's nothing that will ever, there's not a cure for nerve damage. Like, I could be on pills for the rest of my life, but because of God, like, I'm not at all. And it was a choice that I made. I decided that I was not going to do this by myself. I decided that, I wasn't going to become a victim, a statistic. Like, my kids weren't going to be out here like, yo, that's my mom in the corners, she out here. That was not going to happen. And I just say that because when I included God in my life and started like realizing that his love was completely different from everything I've ever known, things changed and I began to trust him more. So even with the situation as serious as these pills, because it's okay to take pills that change the structure or the chemical makeup of your brain, because you have these things called neurotransmitters and synapses inside of your brains, and they shoot off messages. And when you put these opiates into your body, now you're getting these pseudo messages that are being sent out. Pseudo means not real, if you don't know. And for the record, I like to use big words, but whatever. It's possible. It's possible. I mean, if you know somebody who's on drugs, somebody who is going through pain, like if you know anybody who is just suffering from something, please, 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 holla at God. It'll change the situation.